Hello, how are you? We are here with MaRLo. It's the second time we're talking to each other. So let's start off with a question that you've been following Armin, or Armin has been following you for a while. How does it feel to be part of Armin's entourage?
Well, I don't know if I'm part of his entourage, but he's been super supportive, and I think over time he's become a friend now as well. We tour in the same places, we see each other a lot around the world, but just the support that he's giving me for years already, actually, has been incredible and has meant a lot to my career as well.
So you're touted as the superstar of the new generation of trance music. How does it feel to have that tag on you?
They're big boots to fill. I mean, there's a lot of really talented artists out there right now, and the tracks that are coming out, the standard is just so high, and there's just so much talent out there, and I'm glad to be part of the scene as it is.
And do you think trance has evolved? Like, it's been 20 to 25 years. Do you think there is still room for a superstar? Or I think we've seen people reach at a point of high, and the new people find it difficult to get up.
It's really competitive, and it is really hard to make a break and get past a certain point. As for superstars, I mean, most of the artists I know do it because they really love the music and they love making music, and even if they weren't getting shows or getting popular, they would still be making music in their bedrooms. And I'm the same, I love making music. I've been making music for a long time. But definitely the scene is growing, and the sound is still really popular. You can see that by tonight. The State of Trance and the radio show, as well as the events, are super successful, and so there's obviously an audience for it.
I saw your Discogs before coming here. You've been making tracks for a long while. I mean, under different alias, and and finally with MaRLo. Any album coming up, or are you working for an extended EP or something?
I'd love to do an album, but it'll probably be maybe next year. This year I'm really focused on the touring side, and also I've got lots of singles coming out that I'm really excited about. I've got a new one with Christine Novelli called Hold It Together. That'll be out on 6th of April. I've got a new one with my wife, Jano, and I've got the remix for Muscle Woods, Advanced, and a remix for Andrew Riel. So my release schedule is really full for the rest of the year with tracks I'm really excited about. So maybe next year I can focus on an album.
That sounds really good. The next question would be talk about Australian trance scene. I mean, it's obviously dance music in the last 3 years has just grown tremendously there. We always talked about the American trance scene growing really well, and suddenly Australia comes in and everybody's looking there. What's the secret there?
I think the Australian people are really passionate about life, actually. So they really get into their sports, they really get into the arts as well, and they also really get into music. And I think now with the electronic music side, I think Australia's really embracing it. There's some great festivals like Stereosonic that are putting on big parties. And the crowd to play to in Australia is amazing.
And on the other hand, you don't see a lot of Australian trance artists coming up. I mean, Emma Hewitt, Tidy, at a point in time, John Ozia, you. So you think there is obviously more scope of Australian artists coming up, but more Asia Pacific in general doesn't have more trance producers or artists coming in. What could be the reason there?
Well, you know what? Australia actually has a lot of unsigned and unheard talent. They're starting to build up now, and I try and support them as much as I can. I put 6 Australian producers on my last compilation album, and I try to always play another Australian artist's music whenever I can, and if it fits in my sets, of course. But there is a next generation of extremely talented people coming out of Australia.
That's great to hear as well. Again, according to you, which has been the golden era of trance music? If that's the term I could use. For
me right now, because like you were saying before, I've been producing for a really long time under different aliases, and for me to reach this point in my career right now where I'm touring all over the world and I get to play a State of Trance, on the main stage and stuff like that. So for me personally right now is the golden era for sure. As for everyone has a different golden era, which is basically when they fell in love with the music. So people fall in love with the music and they go clubbing for a few years, some longer, some shorter, and that period for them they hold really fond memories of. So people that started going out in '96, for them that's the golden era. Some people started going out in 2002, that's their golden era. it does. Music changes, and there's new tracks coming out all the time. So, you know, someone that just turned 18 is going out clubbing now. In 10 years' time, this will be their golden era.
For sure, that's a great answer as well. Uh, we just heard about your love for shoes. So talk to us about which is your favorite company, and any tips for people who come for clubbing and stuff.
Look, what it is I because I travel a lot, I get to see like the limited edition new Nikes or G-Star shoes or things like that 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 I know I can't get back home, so I can't help myself sometimes buy them.
And last question from us: any message for your fans?
Look, thank you all so much for your support. Of course, obviously, without you guys, none of this is possible, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. That was fantastic.